very warm welcome and good afternoon to everybody. We're slightly delayed by Indian standards, so I guess it's all right, I think. With no ado, could I request all of you all to please stand up for the anthem?
Shri Gananathuni Sharada Satkavulanu Sahaja Yogi Munulan Surulan Deva Brahmana Dhanyuni Sakalantaryami Harini Chala Bhajintum Jnanam Vijnanam Cha Bhakti Sahitam Jnana Vijnana Vidya Vinaya Bhushana Ramaiah Samoha Sanstana Jnana Vijnana Vidya Vinaya Bhushana Ramaiah Samoha Sanstana Tare Niharike Agale Imalike Jayavennuva Ee Sansthanake Drashtaru Kattida ಕನಸಿನ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯವಿದು ದೀಪದೊಳು ಪ್ರದೀಪಗಳ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾ ಸ್ಥಾನವಿದು ಅರಿವಿನ ದಿಗಂತರಾಚೆಗೆ ಜಿಗಿಯುವ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲವಿದು ಗೃಹ ಗೃಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೃಹ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣಕ್ಕೆ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನದ ಸೋಪಾನವಿದು ಅಮಿತ ಜ್ಞಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧನ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರವಿದು ಪ್ರತಿಭೆಯ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಲು ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿಯ ಕೇಂದ್ರವಿದು ಅಜ್ಞಾನದ ಕತ್ತಲೆ ನೀಗುವ ಸುಜ್ಞಾನದ ಸೂರ್ಯನ ರಶ್ಮಿದು ಜಗದೋದ್ಧಾರದ ಹೊಂಗನಸನು ಹೊತ್ತಿದ ಅರಿವಿನ ತಾಣವಿದು ಅರಿವಿನ ಹಣತೆಯು ಬೆಳಕನ್ನು ಚೆಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಸಂಖ್ಯಾತ ಕಿರಣಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲೆಡೆ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಿವೆ ಜಯವೆನ್ನುವ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ
I welcome all of you to the Startup Awards for 2024. To start the event, I'd like to invite Dr. Arvind MT, who's the CEO of Evolute, to do the welcome address. Over to you, Arvind.
Thank you, Sumita. We have a star presenter here, DJF. Sumita is a senior director at Cisco and she's a mentor with Evolute. Thank you for agreeing to come here, right? Will not elaborate. I think today is a day we are celebrating the grit and grime of all our startups. And I'd like to welcome our chief guest, Sri Prashant, to our gathering with a bouquet. Next, I'd like to welcome Sri Kodandram, Honorable Trustee of GF, who's gracing this occasion. Thank you. Thanks a lot for coming over, sir. I'd like to welcome Sri Anandram, Honorable Trustee of GF, to this our awards function. Next, I'd like to welcome our Chief Executive, Sri Parshvanath sir, who's our driving force. And I'd like to welcome finally Dr. Naidu, Principal of RIT, without whose help we cannot function here, right? Thank you so much. So I would like to leave the floor now to Samartha to tell us a little bit about Evolutes. Oh, okay, sorry. We would like to invite all the guests to assemble on the dais for lighting the lamp. Sorry, my bad.
Now we'd like to invite Dr. Samartha Nagabhushnam, who's the co-founder of Evolute, with all his passion and fervor to talk about Evolute.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sir. And today we are starting the 4th cohort. Okay, the most important aspect is that apart from the Startup Awards that we'll have, so we also have the 4th cohort starting. So this is the starting day kind of stuff. And I'm really humbled that we have Prashant Prakash sir here to join us. This is a man who believed in companies at seed stage and stood with them till they became unicorns. Okay, so that's the kind of wherewithal he had. And this has helped, if there is a strong investor who comes in, backs you, and stays with you for a very long journey, then the entrepreneurs can do wonders. Okay, so, and in fact, the entire Bangalore and the Karnataka and the Indian startup ecosystem has to be thanking Prashant for believing in entrepreneurs and taking this particular wild thing. And sincere thanks, Kodanram sir and Anandram sir, that you are here, okay, without which this function would not be this one. Okay, most importantly, when I say entrepreneurs, I feel that entrepreneurs are romantics, okay, they romance a lot, they romance and keep romancing, okay, and somebody has to be supporting their romance, right? So that's the kind of stuff. When we were discussing about, in last week, we were discussing about what does a heart need. Okay, at that point in time, everybody said that heart will need that, heart will need that, and heart will need this kind of stuff. But our ancient wisdom says that heart needs romancing, which is heart needs such kind of a romancing where you melt. Okay, Hridaya Vidravaka. So that's the kind of ancient wisdom in India, whether it is Tao or those kind of stuff. So I always feel that entrepreneurs are romantics. And as any romantics, you have your blind spots. Okay, and the blind spots, in any romance, people have blind spots because you fall in love, either with the idea or with the aspect of you falling in love with that idea. And then you start believing, start imagining kind of stuff. So there are a lot of blind spots that gets developed as entrepreneur goes through this romantic journey. First thing that at Ramaiah Evolute, what we do is just give a little bit of tools to assess, self-assess, and continuously assess the people to see where the blind spots are. So when we take the organizations in, we do a product market fit, and the product market fit goes for about 3 to 4 months that we have. That's a kind of tool that we use. And a little bit of okay, while we keep and sustain the romance that the founders have, we also try to enable them so that their blind spots are continuously removed. Okay, so that is what, and that is where Ramaiah Evolute is very different from any other investing ecosystem in India, where we are believers of this romance, and we also believers that you need a little bit of, okay, as long as your intellectual ego is kept in check and intelligence is applied. So that is where we help you and help you pivot and pivot and pivot. And like Prashant here, we also believe in long term. Sitaram sir believes extremely in long term strategies. So it's a very Japanese thought process in his mindset. So that's the reason why we are here. Okay. Just to give you a little bit of what Evolute is about, we started in 2021, that is March 2021, we launched, we had a soft launch, and then in the Q4 of 2021, we started the first cohort. We started with the Star Startup Award, and then first cohort started. So that is how we started the journey, and till date, we have invested in 20 startups. And in 20 startups, we have held them closely and we have mentored them. So there's a very good panel of mentors that we have. So we mentored them, and we are happy that at least we are seeing a 2x kind of a investment growth that we have already made. So that's for an incubator, it is reasonably good for a 3-year kind of a period. And in some of the organizations, of course, some of the companies have made 5x kind of leaps. All those things are there. And some of them which we didn't have revenues have started revenues and sustained the revenues and thrived revenues over a year and those kind of stuff. So that is where we come in. And the kind of companies that we are investing are always, one core philosophy of Ramaiah Evolute is how to enable core tech, deep tech, hard tech in India, because sometimes what happens, the investment market is looking at just growing their monies and whatever is, whether it is e-commerce, realty, that, this, okay, there is a certain trend, okay. There's a street trend, as we call. So we are going with the street trend. So we wanted something which is unique and invest in India development, okay, which is hard tech, core tech, deep tech, and which is going into the overall development of India's backbone. And that is where, so we have shied away from investing much into just business innovations, okay. Some parts we have done business innovations, but mostly we have to go into the core and see where there is a deeper innovation inside the organization, and we have invested in those kind of companies. The kind of technology space that we have invested, we have spread across biotech, medtech, agri-tech. We have, I mean, you saw everything, so we have invested in, so there is no kind of, we'll focus only on this area or that area kind of stuff. But we are also sensitizing on the sustainability part of it. So that's another angle that we are looking at. Today we have selected about 21 companies. These companies were selected of the 400 applications. For cohort 4, that is a 2024, we got about 400 applications, 400 plus applications that we got. And of which we had a very, very kind of, Dr. Arvind led a very beautiful way of screening the companies. We had 2 rounds of interviews and then finally a panel interview, and that is how the companies are selected. And we strongly believe that these 21 represent, of the 400, these 21 represent, they have done something unique, something better, and they have done some right innovation in right angling and also the right messaging. So their innovation has come out with the right messaging as well. Okay, so that's what we have looked at. One key thing that we have also looked at, probably from the second year onwards, we have started looking at all the companies with a global scalability. So they should be able to not just innovate in India and just the growth of GDP in India, but also start globally going and then increase the overall value. So these companies have innovations which can go global. So that is the kind of a thing. And I really want to, my simple message to all the founders here who have got the startup awards and then further going through the entire process, please get into this practice. If you have to pivot, pivot. Okay, don't hold on to your intelligent ego while you are romanticizing and romancing with the idea. Okay, if there is a mentor who is telling, and if there is somebody holding some mirror at you, don't just ignore. Sometimes you have to ignore because those mirrors you might have seen deeper into the mirror. Okay, but at the same time, just also give valid points and build a very strong mentor ecosystem. I sincerely thank that after 4 cohorts with 20 investments, we have again this year we will be investing into about 8 to 10 companies. Okay, so that's the kind of the 21 we will be investing in 8 to 12 companies, and I wish everyone all the best. And it is really, really at this stage having Prashant come here, and okay, this is the energy that we require. Okay, for a person who believes in seed and who can take it to unicorns. So that's the energy that we need here. And thank you so much, sir, and thanks everyone here. Okay, let's proceed with the next step.
I'd like to call upon Arvind to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Prashant Prakash.
Thank you, Subita. I received his profile from his office, and it's very illustrious and long, and so I've made it concise. Yeah, but I've made it concise. But it is full of illustrious achievements, but I'm going to just summarize, right? See, Prashant Prakash has been at the heart of the startup ecosystem since its very inception. He's a founding partner of a venture capital firm, Axel Partners in India. Since 2004, he's been a pivotal figure in the venture capital landscape, contributing significantly to the evolution of Karnataka's and India's startup ecosystem. He co-founded Erasmic Ventures in 2004, which later morphed into Axel India, one of the earliest global venture funds to enter India. He has played a foundational role in shaping some of India's most successful and category-defining startups, including Flipkart, Ola, Freshworks, Book My Show, and right now Swiggy, which all of you would have heard recently. He's serving as a member of the National Startup Advisory Council of Government of India, and he plays a pivotal role in shaping the future trajectory of India's startup ecosystem. He's also the chairman of Karnataka's Vision Group of Startups, and he acts as a crucial link between startups, entrepreneurs, investors, and the state government. Prashant's commitment extends far beyond the startup realm. He has been passionate about giving back to the community and has generously borrowed lessons and learnings from the startup world to bring disruptive thinking and efficiency and create large-scale impact in society. I'm going to stop with just this much intro, and I think I'm skipping a lot more stuff. And I'd like to now request the dignitaries on the dais to felicitate Mr. Prashant Prakash. It's a small felicity, it won't take more time. Not this.
Now we'd like to invite our chief guest to address the audience. Thank you so much.
So this is like, getting embarrassed every time. But it's a great pleasure to be at one of the coveted organizations, institutions in the city known for its excellence across multiple dimensions. And we'll be talking about one dimension today. And it's my honor and privilege to share the dais with the honorable trustees, faculty, and of course, Samarth, because of whom I'm here, and Dr. Arvind, who's helping Samarth in what he's doing. So I think we've, in these 20 years, evolved a lot, right, as a startup ecosystem. And what I like about the ecosystem today is that it is so democratized that no small startup is inconsequential. So I don't think, and I really want to talk about this in every place that I get at opportunities, because, I think chasing the unicorn dreams are definitely something that, if you can, you should do. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a unicorn, But I believe that as a country, we will have all kinds of startups. And today, we are also getting to an ecosystem where there used to be a time when if you're not a large enough startup, you had no value. But I think that will change. We have our startups going IPO today. They will buy smaller companies, right? Because they want to expand and grow. So it's not bad anymore to, and I like what Samarth said, why will somebody buy you as a company? Only because your technology is deep, your innovation is materially deep enough and has enough IP that, like Samarth said, is relevant not only for India, but it would stand up to any global benchmarks for the same IP or the same innovation. So I think that's when larger companies, and we have multiple companies that are in the path to IPO. It's not about the 10, 15 companies that have now gone IPO. We, I think, have about, I would say, in 2025, we will have another 30 to 40 companies that would IPO, from India. And we were falling behind a little bit in Bangalore, and I was taking a little bit of flack for that as to why Bangalore company, because the first 5 companies that IPO'd were all from Delhi. And it was a joke in the startup circles that the Delhi entrepreneurs know how to build businesses, and the Bangalore entrepreneurs talk too much tech, but don't actually build businesses that can go IPO. But I think with Swiggy going public, with Ola going public from here, I think, and there's a bunch of companies lined up to go public. But what I was trying to emphasize is that, even if you're building small, right, make sure that you are not losing sight of the value of the innovation that you are building even as a small company. And there, like Samarth said, you have to be lean and you have to iterate fast. And I would add to what Samarth said, I don't think it's only about the heart, it's also about the brain, right? In any startup is both, right? It's about the left brain and the right brain. I think there is enough of logic, there's enough of analytical capability that you need to have, and at the same time, you need to have enough creativity and enough intuition and take those right calls. So it's your heart plus your left and your right brain, right? So how do you kind of bring all of these to bear is what you'll have to do in a startup. Now, just coming back to the point in time we are in India, right? So I think a lot of the easy opportunities are done, right? And it's important to understand that, because I still have people who come to me and say, okay, you know what, yes, there can be innovation, and I'm going to talk about this specifically because I don't want to sound like all consumer opportunities are taken. No, there are still some consumer opportunities, but you just have to be cognizant. Are you the right entrepreneur for that? Do you have the right ability to position and pitch your startup in a VC-like environment, which is very momentum-driven? Or are you, it's important to understand what kind of an entrepreneur you are first. So don't try to be an entrepreneur who you aren't. Right? And I'll give you an example, let's say, of the Zepto entrepreneurs, right? The Zepto entrepreneurs are a very different breed. They are like Zuckerberg. They dropped out of Stanford. They had a very different ability to raise money and go after a market which already had a number 1 and number 2 incumbent, and as a number 3 incumbent, because if somebody as an investor advised you, they will say, what are you thinking about building when you have Swiggy and Zomato? Would you ever think of building another startup, right? But then these entrepreneurs were different. So not all of us have the same capability to build something like that, right? But I think what we all have the capability is to pick a very sharp problem, right? And in that sharp problem, we first make it work locally with getting the right product market fit, like what Samad said. And with that right product market fit, you build local, you get national, and then you get global, right? So with the sequence, you kind of build any small technology and kind of iterate and build on top of that. I think that being focused on that, I think is most relevant for most of us. It's not about building the next Zepto, or I think you recently saw we invested in something called Swish, which, as Swiggy investors, we always are thinking, okay, what is next, right? I don't know how, just curious, because we are still in this process of thinking through what will happen to Swish. How many of you would really want your food within 10 minutes, and do you think that's important? Okay. And how many of you would be happy with 15 to 20 minutes? Okay. So I guess there is a market for this 10-minute kind of, but I don't understand it. I'm not a Gen Z person, or I don't understand why 20 minutes is not good enough. But I guess there are people in this generation who think 10 minutes is very valuable. But anyway, so I think there's this class of startups which have the innate ability to raise a lot of money in this high momentum spaces, and don't don't get enamored too much by that. Whatever inspiration you can draw, please draw from that. But don't try to just believe that you're one of them. I think the part that I want to talk about today is this transition of India from being just a soft, easy consumer type of an entrepreneurial ecosystem to what I would call now the importance of the hard plus the soft. And I think Samad kind of touched upon it, and I think that is really, really important. There was a period where if it was just not about a software app, right, it was, as a startup, I don't think anybody thought that without something online, you can build a good startup. But I think with AI, what we are seeing more and more, that the relevance of AI in software, of course, is there, and it looks like it's threatening more computer science graduates than the mechanical, and for once, I think the mechanical engineers and people who can get into robotics and really hard product building seems like their time will now come, right? So I think it's interesting how industries kind of keep coming around in circles, right? Because I think people had written off mechanical and some of the electrical and semiconductor and some of these engineering streams, and they said you should just disband and everything in colleges, and the only thing that you should have is computer science. And in 5 years, you'll probably get to a stage where every computer science graduate who will graduate from this college will have an equivalent AI first agentic employee. And that AI first agentic employee will work at a fraction of the cost of what we think even is very low cost Indian manpower, right? So there's like really a transformative change in the value for what I call as precision engineering. There is a transformative change for materials engineering and new material design, right? There's a transformative change for marrying AI, not so much with just software, but marrying AI with hardware, such as robotics. So robots that can work with imaging and robots that can see are more valuable than, with AI, are more valuable today than ever before, right? And then you have this idea of, building from the global south to the global north, because sustainability is as important today for everybody in the world. And we have a period where, because of what's happening in the China +1 environment, there is a unique opportunity for manufacturing-led startups from India. And as Axel, we have invested in, let's say in the last 1 year, if we have invested in 20 startups, about 8 of them or 9 of them have some deep element of manufacturing. So who would have thought that in 15 years, 20 years, our ecosystem would come a full cycle to from being a tech-only, software app-led ecosystem to now a deep supply chain integrated manufacturing plus software plus AI kind of ecosystem. So I think this full value chain opportunity that we have in India means that real engineering, real science, real marrying of hard and soft technologies, I think will make it more interesting for all of us, right? So why should this be a world for only computer scientists, right? So there's so much value in engineering, there's so much value in deep science that you want to build. If you look at something like SpaceX, right? SpaceX is not just about AI. SpaceX is as much about deep science and as much about engineering and as much about AI. So I think the big takeaway is that the time has come for us to be a global power, superpower, not just by flexing our outsourcing and our software muscle, but we want to be a superpower where Indians have had a decent amount of science. We were good engineers. We had developed a capability to develop reasonably good software. But now can we marry all these capabilities to build world-class startups from India that have more relevance, more IP, and in my opinion, will be more resilient over time. So that's the big takeaway message, that you can build small, build deep. You can build complex, full value chain companies if you want to do that, right? But the ability now to partner with entrepreneurs. So today when you look at co-founders, don't look at co-founders who are only good in building software systems, right? So you can look at co-founders who are good in building physical systems, co-founders who are great engineers and deep science thinkers. So this is definitely a paradigm shift in India, and the last 20 years was different, and I see that the next 10 years will be about, we didn't talk about healthcare, but we are at this unique moment in our lives where there's a lot of technologies that are coming together from your genetics to multiomics to your gut to your ability to be a bit more precise in what you can do, and what I call as medicine 3.0. So it's no longer going to be driven by just organ level medicine anymore. It's going to be more system level, right? So just imagine the engineering element is now going to be key to medicine, right? It's no longer going to be about individual organs. It's going to be a more systems biology approach where the whole system, integrative medicine is going to be the future. So medicine 3.0, and so I'm just trying to again just leave one point here, that the systems approach and engineering being at the center of everything is the future, whether it is medicine, whether it is your consumer applications, whether it's manufacturing. So the future is great for engineers and scientists, and I think computer science is just one dimension of it, and that's the way it should have always been. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful insight. I wish we had more students in the room, because it would really be enlightening for all of them to know that beyond computer science there are careers which are very rich. Thank you so much. Yeah, completely agree. And I think the systems approach is the way. Thank you so much for that insight. Now I'd like to request our Honorable Trustee Kodanram sir to come and address the gathering.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I and my brother Anandram are here because my other two brothers, Mr. Jairam, the chairman, and Mr. Sitaram, the vice chairman, had to travel at a very short notice. So they were not able to be here for this very important event of our campus. My sincere apologies for their absence. I think myself and Mr. Anandram, we were lucky to be here because we have the privilege of hearing Sri Prashant Prakash, an investor and a motivator, for me to be sharing the stage with him. I'm very sure that most of you, somewhere along this journey, you would have dreamt big and also probably dreamt the goals to be very big. A very familiar quote, dream big and keep on dreaming big. Everyone who is somebody today would have definitely dreamt about what he or she wants to do and would have set up a goal. Bill Gates himself, he had a dream too. He dreamt that one day people would have or own their own PC. At that time, a lot of people laughed at him, telling, how is it possible? But you all know, today, it's a reality. We should dare to dream. We can turn the dream into reality by hard work, dedication, and a mindset telling you, never give up. Don't accept defeat. there are so many things important into making your business successful. And one major aspect is the seed money, which our guru, so Prashant Prakash, investor guru, has told you very clearly. This is what makes partly to achieve what you want. To achieve that, you have to become innovative, as Prashant Prakash told you. You have to dedicate, and you should be very, very prudent in your spending. And the last and the most difficult issue for many of us to follow or practice is patience. Many young entrepreneurs fail in their very first term because they can't handle pressure and perilous obstacles. They get frustrated, devastated due to unsatisfying balance sheet, losses, labor problems. The only way to cure this is to be patient and be very, very optimistic. You should have a mindset that initially the first term is no honeymoon, but there will be unprofitable losses, but your day will come. The time will come where profits will definitely be there. Keep your energy going, focused on your work, and don't forget that you have a dream to achieve. So I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, without any ado, I think we are standing between all of y'all on lunch. We will definitely want to felicitate all the winners of the Star Startup Awards. Between Arvind and me, we'll kind of call out the winners. We'll start with the first one. The first company is...
So,
for that one?
yeah. No. You're right. So, just to keep it efficient, what we would request is people walk from here, receive the award, and exit from that side, right? So that you don't come in the way of me. We would request all of you to come in the front.
You want to use mic, so
We'll use that mic.
So I'd like to invite the first company, which is Materac. This is in the clean tech space. They are innovating to bring down India's dependence on imported natural gas and bring down the cost of fuel in energy generation. Could you please come up on stage? Go ahead.
The next company is Sports Index Entech Private Limited, but preferably called as Ballers, according to them. Fintech financial services space, building an alternative investment platform for the rising affluent class, helping people diversify their portfolio and be a part of their favorite franchise. Please go ahead.
The next one is Curexcel, which is in the healthcare technology space. This is a med tech with an aim of making injections painless, starting with drugs approved for intradermal use. The device can improve vaccination by rapid immunization with a smaller dose and reduced cost. Go ahead, please.
Next we call Vrivida. It's a biotech company incubated at CCAMP, building an innovative therapeutic product to replace antibiotics for skin and soft tissue infections.
The The next company is Paving Plus. They are in the domain of building materials. They are pioneering sustainable practices through a patented product which recycles plastic waste into construction materials with enhanced strength and load-bearing capacity.
Next, we call upon AI Health Highway in healthcare technology, innovation on an AI-enabled stethoscope to tackle the issue of increasing cardiac issues, indicates potential cardiac issues in a more accessible manner than existing solutions.
The next company we call upon is Weathercast, which is in the big data and analytics domain. Their AI/ML solution for hyperlocal weather monitoring and forecasting will help energy companies and farms in predicting the output and conserving the energy.
Next, we call upon Seminar Room, which is into education services, bridging the gap between academic theories and real-world applications by connecting domain experts with educational institutes.
Next, we call upon Evercons, which is a health tech company again. They are developing a medical device for monitoring blood pressure using a new method that addresses the inaccuracies of traditional methods.
Yeah, go ahead. Next, we would like to call upon alumni in the market spaces and platforms, building a community of students abroad and aspiring students to address all their needs from counseling and applications to admissions and accommodation.
The next one we're calling upon is Parking Pal, very essential for a city like ours, in the domain of mobility and aggregator. They are building a platform to solve an increasing big parking problem due to increase in vehicle in urban cities.
The next company is Tausphere. It is a clean tech and clean tech space, innovating on products that reduce water usage in fabrics and recycles discarded or surplus milks and milk products. Potential applications in apparels, food packaging, and medical devices. Tausphere team.
The next company we're calling upon is Resilience AI 30, which is a health drink. So Flying Kombucha is a food tech company with a patent applied production process producing a naturally.
Resilience AI is a
sorry.
company that is building AI/ML climate enterprise software that combines satellite inputs, hyperlocal data, and demographic and socio-economic indicators. I'd like to call upon. I'd like to call upon Secured App. It's into cybersecurity, bringing automation to the blockchain audits, offering blockchain security, smart contract audits, app development, and compliance services.
The next company is FemaCare, which is in the healthcare domain. This is prioritizing women's health with a new generation contraceptive device and solutions for infertility and menopause. Developed hormone-free vaginal inserts for solving rising cases of infertility.
We would like to call upon Gravid Mother Baby, which is into healthcare. Gravid is a health and wellness platform addressing women's vital health issues and providing support through all life stages from preconception to menopause.
The next one is Board Resources. They are in the space of clean energy. They are eco-friendly, scalable, and affordable energy storage solutions by eliminating use of chemicals, a concept of circular economy for industrial waste materials.
We would like to call call next upon Block Drive, which is into big data domain, building a security platform on blockchain, providing license to pharmaceutical companies, defense and research organizations. They have not come. Okay. Next one.
Green CPO is the next one, which is in the domain of biomaterials, bringing sustainability and innovation in textile industry, creating an alternative to leather in a fully biodegradable manner using agricultural waste and near zero water utilization.
Okay, they're not there.
They're also not here.
And then we have Concilium, which is into sustainability, green energy company developing an alternative eco-friendly method for generating biogas using coconut shells. Hi.
The last one for today is a company called Navmark, which is in the clean tech space again. And they are improving the hygiene of living in rural and suburban areas, developed a solution to improve the quality of water by removing arsenic from it. Should we call all the winners on stage for a photo?
All of them for a picture. We would like to call upon all the awardees for a picture on stage, group picture on stage, please.
Please do bring your plaques with you all so we can just use it.
Yeah, we'll fit.
Flying kombucha mistake. Nana, I read it when I was reading. I said, it doesn't make sense. I should have at least asked you this. It's okay.
Do we all fit in? I think we got the wrong.
Could we request the mentors who are here also to come on stage? Mentors and our investors.
Girish, Shyam, NP, please come on stage. Dr. Reddy?
Any investors?
Yeah.
Vatsal,
Vatsal.
please come on stage. CFO sir, we need your picture. Come. Sir, Bunny sir. Samartha. CFO sir.
Thank you all. Arvind, if you could just address the gathering with a thank you note.
No, I'll have to just propose a vote. Okay. Yeah. Can we give a plant to everyone? Yeah. Samartha, ellargu ಒಂದು plant. I'd like to quickly propose a vote of thanks after the awards function. We would like to really thank Sri Prashant Prakash for coming over and giving us a lot of insights. I learned a lot from the brief talk he gave. Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to thank Sri Kodandram sir, Honorable Trustee of GEF, for addressing us and helping us out with this function. I'd like to thank Anandram sir and our CE Sri Parshvanath sir and our principal Naidu sir. I would also like to invite our mentors on stage to just receive a sapling. Please come over. Samartha, you just hand over a sapling to all. Oh no, a sapling to all. Please come on stage. Sumita first. I'd like to give all our mentors sapling. Sir, could you please honor our mentors? Sumita, Shyam, Nagendra Prasad, and Girish. Would like to, sir, CFO sir, please. Would like to just give you a, please come. Sir, please. Mr. Reddy, come. Dr. Reddy, right, sorry. Vinod, please come. He's an alumnus of Ramaiah. MD of Java Capital. Yeah. So with this, thank you all. I've not specifically addressed many of the institution heads and all the dignitaries who are around. I'm sorry about it. I think, thank you all for coming over and supporting Evolute. And thanks everybody on the dais for, your support. Thanks everyone. Please have lunch with us and you can all see the demo, right? Thank you very much.